See, usually when you say, "Oh, I had a light bulb moment," it'll change everything forever. No, light bulb is still happening.
The bulb is like there forever.
So pretty much all the engineers or anybody in this industry, right? We have that thing of, oh, we can handle this.
Yeah.
If you're in a big company, I can do the show, no problem. But years and years of failure, so many bad shows, and maybe one or two good shows. At least in the first 2 years, I probably did. If I had done 100 shows, 95 of them were like
These kinds.
disasters only.
Damn.
5%, 5 of them maybe good because of the acoustic being very good.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the show. That was Anish Ponnanna, aka the Engineer's Pick. He's a sound engineer most known for working with bands like Suratna, Thermal and a Quarter, Indian Ocean, Clinton Cereo, and so many more. Currently, he's creating some incredible looking and sounding content on YouTube via his YouTube channel, The Engineer's Pick. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I would highly recommend giving it a listen and a watch because he's creating something that's truly unique. So in this episode, we talk about a lot of things where he brings in a lot of his experiences and stories, and I'm sure it's definitely going to drive the message home. He talks about how taking things practically as opposed to simply just diving deep and assuming you know everything, right? A lot of us get into something thinking, hey, this can't be something that's that can't be too difficult. It's something that we can easily get around to doing. But what he truly has gone through and explains on the show too is that it takes years to understand and acquire a skill. And at the same time, you need to be open to feedback and understanding how you can really up your game and get comfortable in uncomfortable situations. So I can't wait for you to experience it. If you already know the kind of content that Anish creates, aka the Engineer's Pick, or if you like any of the bands that he's worked with, or if you like the intro and you like where this is heading, then consider smashing the like button because it really, really helps with the algorithm. If you are listening to this over audio, then consider dropping me a DM on Instagram once you're done listening to it. I'd love to hear from you. Cool, let's get right into the episode then. This is episode 38 with Anish Ponnanna.
I think one of the guests, again, she was from Coog, no? Rida Tarana.
Yeah.
I think she studied in the same school as I did.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I started following her after that. I didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
I started following her after this interview. Then I saw her Instagram story where
And she went back to the school.
She went back to school and she was posing right in front of the school. So
yeah,
she was probably my junior.
Wow,
Yeah,
dude.
I may look younger, but
Dude.
I'm 30. I'm 31.
Yes, whatever he's doing is working.
Yeah.
Oh man, but that's crazy, dude.
Yeah. She's definitely from that school.
So you
Lutz
also
Hill
went to convent?
Yeah, Lutz Hill Convent. That's
Okay.
It was on a hill. So
Okay, nice.
That's what it's
Dude, I'm super glad you're finally here.
yes,
I think we've been in talks for a long time.
for a while now.
Yeah, and most of our guests, I mean, even one of the previous guests we had, we in talks for 6 months to get him on
Are
the
you
show.
serious?
Yeah,
It's
because
a busy man or a woman.
Man, I mean, it was a team and we had to get someone here, but then schedule is all over the place and a lot of things, and finally we made it happen. Now it's become like
Who's this?
almost there's Sahit from Do Creative.
Right.
So I think this has become like the norm for our conversations to start, which is so glad you're finally here. And it's been like months in the pipeline, and finally we're here. But this is awesome, dude. Your work is very, 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 very different. It really caught my eye. Years,
Right.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Years is what.
eyes secondary.
Yeah, but personally, I like to think I'm doing something very unique with our show, which is something, like I was telling you earlier too, very few people forget India around the world are really putting in thought to just sitting down and having meaningful conversations.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do here too, right? You, on the other hand, have literally gone maybe a couple of more notches above what Coke Studio and what these guys are trying to do.
Yeah.
That's very mainstream, very commercial. But what you have done with music is extremely raw in its purest form. That's the simplest way I can put it.
Yep.
Right? Because a couple of days ago, my wife and I sat down and we were watching a lot of your videos.
Right.
You're not in it.
Of course,
Yeah.
I was not.
Yeah.
Okay, until the first season. I mean, the first season, nobody knew who this guy was.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I see. I think your DP is you, right?
Yeah, that is me.
And I'm like, is this him or is he like doing it under some other name?
You tell me how many times have you gone to a YouTube channel and actually looked at the DP and analyzed it? Like,
Only Anish's.
Yeah, it never happens. So, but
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
That's the thing right now. A lot of people, even my closest friends or people who I meet randomly also, when they get to know I'm the engineer of the Engineer's Pick, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's your channel. Oh, great. So people don't know that I was doing it all alone.
Yeah.
The entire first season. Now I call it first season. I was just putting out videos randomly. Now I'm calling it seasons.
Right.
The first season. So they didn't know who this guy was. And they were all saying, even I'm very close to these Swaratmak boys. And, they are,
We should talk about that too, how
Yeah.
you're working with all these bands and these artists.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so these guys also kept telling me that, dude, you should come on the video, you should try and, explain what you're doing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nobody knows what you're doing. I mean, these people, the videos are getting famous and all that, but nobody knows what it is. It's just a video. It's
That's
just
true.
random. It's just random videos on YouTube.
It looks like for the lack of better explanation, maybe like an offline Vivo studio.
Yeah,
You get
something
it?
like that.
Yeah.
Right. So, and for me, it's not natural to talk in front of the camera. Okay. And the second season, when I started now, I was trying to look at the camera and then those lens, it keeps doing that when I'm like, what's happening here? I'm being very conscious about it, right? Because I'm not able to focus on what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not being myself.
Yeah.
You should see the first episode of the second season.
Yeah.
So it was on the same day of the shoot.
Okay.
So I did this talking bit right at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I was super tired, man. You know how a shoot, it drains you. In an AC room, you're there since 7 in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And I did this at 7 in the evening in the same studio. But then by then I was gone. Like I was super tired and, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, hey guys, welcome to the Engineer's Pick. This is Anish, your host. And I've by-hearted by now all these things. Now I'm forgetting it. And this camera is doing random shit. And this guy who's using the slider, he's going fast. I'm like, hey, nilsappa, solpa, slow agmadi. So I told him, okay, don't move. And somehow I got through the day. So now in the second episode of the same season, I got better. Again, scripted.
Yeah.
I got better.
Yeah.
But I think from now I'm going to, talking to a camera was never a thing. Forget talking to a camera. This is not my thing. I am the guy supposed to be behind the scenes, right? And I always thought of the channel like, sound engineer will never come on a video, or you will never see a sound engineer in the concert on stage.
Right.
So I wanted to have that thought process, but people don't seem to agree with it, and I agree with them now. It's actually making a difference because I had done a show recently. They recognize me. One of them, she's like, "Hey, aren't you the guy from that channel, the Engineer's Pick?" That thing, right? You're the one. I said, "Yeah, that's me." I'm like, "Wow, this is me after just after that one episode." Where I came on the video, where I introduced the artists and all that. So I think,
it makes a difference.
It does make a difference. It gives you a connect to the audience, right?
Exactly.
So people try even though internet is a toxic place, a lot of people, 95% of the people are not toxic, right? They appreciate what you're doing. And when you come on the video and talk to them, introduce the artist, so they feel even more connected and they try to comment.
Correct.
Like, good things.
Yeah.
Sometimes not so good things, but it's fine,
I mean, that does
doesn't matter.
follow.
Yeah.
Right?
In the beginning, I used to get really upset. Man, these guys are saying all these things. Why are you not putting only Kannada songs? Kannada songs made you famous. I said that was only one episode. There are a lot of other
Just because
episodes.
you only saw that.
Yeah, my mother tongue is not Kannada. I am a Kodava. So I think all languages deserve respect.
Yeah.
So all those things.
Art is above language.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Absolutely.
Right?
And music especially.
Yeah.
You can listen to an African song.
Yeah.
And you will still like it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's just, it goes back to emotions. It goes back to that connect, like you said, right? And I think, especially you doing this whole bit, which is super niche, I feel, right? Something that I'd like to say no one is really doing.
Yeah.
And I think you're coming from a very special space when it comes to putting this kind of content out there, because it's not featuring you. Yeah. It's about featuring good art.
Yeah.
It's about featuring good music and just getting it out there, right? So it's, I think, all the more important for you to get out there and explain what it is.
Yes.
And I think that's
Absolutely.
finally why,
Yes.
it made sense to these guys.
Yes.
Because everyone lands on the channel. Like if you told someone, dude, check out Engineers Pick, they'll be like, so math or science or what?
Yeah. So that's one more thing. So nobody knows. So first of all, not a lot of people, majority of the people don't know what sound engineering, or let's say what a sound engineer is, who a sound engineer is, right? Yeah. And even so, in the music industry, they say just the engineer. Engineer. This short form, like because of the daily usage.
Yeah, it's a colloquial
engineer. So my naming for this channel comes from there. So the Engineers Pick. But I also knew this would happen. Okay, the engineer means Infosys, Dell,
that is how
laptop,
us Indians look at it. Yeah.
Formal shirt, Tata consultancy bus.
Because honestly, dude, even me, dude, when I was first introduced to you, right, and I was thinking, so he's probably an engineer who's doing this now.
Exactly.
And I'm like, probably why Engineers Pick?
Yeah.
It's when I got talking to you and I looked at the content, I'm like, no, this is coming from a different place.
Yeah, it does. It does come from a very different place. Yeah. And so we see sound engineering, when they say, right, it's the combination of art and science. Engineers also, they do all this coding in whatever, even mechanical engineering also, right? They do all these technical bit, but there is art to it also.
Definitely.
Right? So, even to write an app, there is an art to it.
Yeah.
To come up with an app, or even mechanical engineering, or let's say making cars.
Yeah.
It's an art by itself. So, I think it's in the same realm of things, but a little more different.
I mean, sound engineer is actually an engineer. If you think about it.
He's an engineer. He's
engineering.
At the end of the day, he's using technology to get the art presented in a way, audience are supposed to be presented.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. So, dude, a bunch of things I want to talk about. Yeah. And we spoke at length last night.
Yeah, it was a pretty long conversation. My mom kept calling me, where are you? Because I had just reached Bangalore, and then she was kind of getting nervous.
Dude, this is crazy. I think a lot of people don't know that you don't stay here. You go back to Coorg.
Yeah.
You shuttle between here and there. And you come down here to shoot your stuff. And then you're obviously traveling around India too when you have your show. I mean, your shows and events, right? We'll obviously get to what you're doing apart from this, where you're freelancing and you're taking up all of these gigs too, and you're partner with all these bands. Let's first talk about how people tend to think that they are experts at something, tend to think that having theoretical knowledge or just looking at something and saying, oh yeah, that's very easy. We know where it's coming from. Yeah. I know exactly how to replicate that. Yeah. And then when you actually get into the practical side of things, is when you realize, oh my God, this is something else altogether. And I'm now in the deep end and I better swim and figure things out, right?
Yeah.
I think you had a couple of instances in your own life.
You're underestimating.
It's still happening, is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'll give you one example. This was way early when I started working with the company I was working. I was very confident. I was wondering, it had been 3-4 months, me in the company, and I had done all these shows where I was on stage and figuring out stuff like what they do and how to connect and how to do the back end stuff. So I was wondering, why are these guys not giving me a show?
Okay.
Right, but when you give me a show, it's like me handling the console.
Yeah.
The console, right? So
is this with a band specifically?
This was with the company I was working.
With the company itself.
Right? So I think this was in 2011-12, around that time. A kid. I was 21 back then. 21, no? Yeah, 21.
Yeah.
So and I had just passed out of this SAE, School of Audio Engineering, this college, right? So I thought I knew it because, and I was highest, I had scored the highest marks in the thing because
you're like a grade A student.
Yeah, grade A in sound engineering, imagine. Right. But it doesn't matter. I'll get there later. So I got the show. In fact, I think there was this engineer who was supposed to come and handle the show. He didn't turn up for some reason.
Lucky you.
Something happened. Or I think my boss was supposed to go to a meeting, or I don't remember exactly. Right. But I was given the show, and the technicians, right, the guys who work in the background, they were like, "Ha, bara pa ba." Bunny. Okay, then I was like, my body language, shoulders up and all. You go there, and I'm trying to set up my channels, and all the instruments are there. So now I'm.
What is the event though?
This was at Allianz France.
Okay.
It was a choir show.
Dude, that.
Wait. It was one. So I had done small shows, okay, like in pubs and bars, and with the same company, like 2 mics and 3 mics, easy to handle. It's okay, not a big deal, and that's why they put me there because a young kid, okay, you do that, go sit in the bar or whatever, and I go there, and now I've gone to the internet mode because. You ask any young sound engineers where they learn from. It's all in Google.com.
YouTube, bro.
YouTube, Google, some random blogs, and, one of those forums.
I know this. I'm an expert now.
Yeah. So, I would have read all those. And this is in 2011, right? Not much information about anything, to be honest. It's all scattered everywhere. Now it's sort of streamlined. Yeah. But back then it was really bad. Now, I switched on this mode. Oh, no, I'm going to show these guys who I am.
Yeah.
Give me that. Excuse me. Drummer's there, and he's playing the drums. I told him to give me a kick drum. So he starts drum. Okay, and I'm getting the sound and all that. But you've been to Allianz France.
Yeah, I have.
Small space. And acoustically, it's a little challenging. Okay,
correct.
Sometimes, but back then more so. Okay. For me, the kick drum just came onto my face. I'm like. Hit me. I'm like, oh, what happened? Oh, okay. First hint of panic started. The drum kit channels are opening up, and now I've made the drum kit really loud. Okay, nice and loud. Metallica. My influences are there. I've seen.
It sounds like Lars.
Lars Ulrich. Cool. Okay, so this is a choir, mind you. Okay, so I've set up the drums so loud and nice, and put nice reverb on it. It sounds. To me, according to me, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's loud. Okay. So making my presence felt in the room.
Yeah.
Then the bass guitar comes. Bass guitar is just one channel, but still it can give you nightmares because of the frequency it carries, right? So, it has. So when I open that, it becomes even worse than the kick drum. That one note. Now I start blame game. This is the usual. All the rookies do this. Bass guitar is not good.
Yeah, why can't he buy a better guitar?
Man, shit bass guitar, man. I think the cable is not good enough, And Satya, he was one of the colleagues. He's like, Satya, can you check the cable? So blame. I'm not even thinking
it's
of
not
my.
It's
not on me. It's all there. And then guy who's sitting next to me, I'm telling, man, these guys don't know how to play, that kind of stuff. So I'm in that zone, but I'm also the hint of panic has come slowly. Okay,
you've realized something.
I've not realized yet, but there is that hint. Okay, slowly something's going to happen. Okay, music all set. Keyboard comes in, and I've done their monitors, and monitors another devil when it comes to especially the younger guys. Fine, monitor PA is sounding decent, but it's loud. Okay, like a rock show. Now comes the best part, the vocal. And these are all choir singers. Your choir, what happens is, like if you have 10 singers, or let's say 20 singers, you can't give them 20 mics.
Yeah.
Okay, you could if you, professionally you can.
Yeah.
But that day, we chose to do 3 people per mic because I think their choir singers were not so great, so they didn't want individual attention, right? So they use 1 mic, 3 people around them and stuff like that. So further the mic, lesser the signal, and lesser the volume. Now I'm bringing the channels up. The instruments are so loud, I'm not able to cut the vocal. But here's the thing, right? In music, if there is vocal in your song, that's it. Vocal has to be heard, no matter what. You can have all sorts of fancy 100 instruments, but your vocal has to be above all. Above all or equal to them. It has to cut through.
Correct.
If he or she is saying something, it has to, be heard. So this is not happening. I'm like, man, what do I do? And I never thought of reducing the instruments because for me, these drums are sounding good. Bass.
Metallica, yo.
Yeah. Again, also sounding good as in my it's sounding. But actually, what I've done is kick drum, bass drum, right? Why do you need high frequency in a bass instrument? Cut off all the highs.
Oh my God. Okay.
Did that because I'd seen it in some YouTube video.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, back then. And this back then, and some, random
Blog.
whatever, right? Bass guitar, same thing. I had, like, if you see the frequency band, I'd cut off all the highs because
Bass,
bass
right?
guitar,
Yeah.
if it says the instrument is saying bass, why would you need highs, right? So I cut off all the highs. And so you can hear it, but it's just, like, it's struggling. It's not coming on the paper. Anyway. Now I started struggling with the vocal, right? I'm like, okay, I'm not able to. The choir conductor is coming up and telling me, it's too loud. Everything's
and the
too
show's
loud.
begun?
No, this is sound check.
Okay.
Early in the morning, like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Show, forget it.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to tell them, no, the singers are not singing loudly. Blame game. Singers are not singing loudly. You can come, please, the choir singers come closer. They are here, dude. But still, I'm telling them to kiss the mic and all. So I think I was struggling for an hour or so. Then one of the colleagues, one of my colleagues, he realized this guy, I don't think he can handle this choir. He calls my boss. He comes from Brunton Road to. The office is there.
Yeah.
So my boss,
Nagar,
he comes, whatever, in half an hour, 45 minutes. Panic call, basically.
Yeah.
But I was not giving up. I was sweating and all, but it didn't show.
Yeah. Like as soon as he comes, I look at that guitar, look at that fellow. That fellow's not standing close to Mike.
Yeah. I'm like this Rahul Dravid in the new ad. Hey, what Purtini? Okay. So Sanjay, he comes, my boss, Sanjay, he comes and he's like, hey, what happened, man? Oh, what's wrong? You're like, no, Sanjay, the bass guitar is not sounding right. I don't think he's using a good guitar. This kind of reasons. He looks at me. He doesn't say anything. He's a very senior person. Okay, so he's a veteran in the industry. So he's like, oh, is it? Okay, let me try. Let me try and see what can happen. Yeah, you could be true, but never know, right? Yeah. So he comes up and he looks at the channel
levels,
the processing that I've done, the crazy processing that I've done. EQ and all looks like Picasso art. I've just done every compression, all sorts of things I've done. Okay, processing. This guy's like, oh, Anish, I'll try this one thing. We'll see if it works or not. Right? Give me 5 minutes. Okay, fine. Forget 5 minutes. I think within 2 minutes he sorted it.
And it sounds incredible.
It sounds great. Like the drum kit doesn't sound like Lars Ulrich, but it sounds sweet, right?
Yeah, it sounds like how it's supposed to sound.
Right. And he's like, Anish, I'll just do this one thing, okay? I'll just take off the processing that you've done. Bypass. Everything's clear. Okay. And Anish, this bass guitar, why have you cut all the highs, man? Sanjay, it's bass guitar. Why do you have to cut have the high frequencies? Oh, okay. Let me change this. Okay, I'll just
change you.
Let me just change this thing. Okay, slightly we'll try it out. So he takes off all the processing and he makes it flat and nice. Yeah. Now all of a sudden the bass guitar is heard. Oh, the finger.
Yeah.
All these things. I'm like, oh damn, that was a light bulb moment for me.
Yeah.
That day was a light bulb moment. I'm telling you. So and the choir now suddenly is nice and loud. He's panned it. You can hear the vocals coming right onto your face, and the drum kit is just supporting nicely. The bass guitar is just there, warm. Yeah. And he said, so I told him, Sanjay, there is that frequency that's popping out from the bass. What do we do that? Hey, it's okay, man. This venue I've done, it's okay. When the crowd come in, how many tickets have they sold? Full house. Oh, no problem. You'll see. Okay. Yeah, it sounded great, everything together, and. When the show started, people came in. The human body absorbs a lot of frequency, right? Yeah. Even the reverb time also becomes lesser. So there is a little more clarity than the sound check. So when the show started, I was shocked.
Like, freaking, this is insane.
Yeah, this is massive difference, right? Yeah. Oh, wow. It sounds tight. Everything sounds very tight and all that. And now he's gone. He's like, okay, now you can handle it.
Yeah, I'll go back to Brunton Road.
Just whenever they do the lead vocal, just keep an eye out. The vocal is the main thing here. Like, vocal. That's it. Nothing else vocal. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see. Then I did the show. As in, I was there just doing up and down the volume. I was like, wow, that was crazy. That kind of made me realize.
Eye-opener.
Now, after that show, I thought, okay, I'll do this for every other show. I go to another venue. Come on, no EQ at all. Let's keep flat. The bass guitar flat. Okay, now this backfired. Okay, another mistake. Now I don't know what to do. Like I'm calling him, Sanjay, I've kept the bass guitar flat, but it's not sounding the way it was sounding there. I think it was the same band also, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, where are you doing the show, man? someplace. He's then like, oh, it may not sound the same in that venue. You will have to. Then I will, okay.
So can you come down here, Sanjay, for like 5 minutes?
Also, so and there was so this kind of stuff. So every time I go through this kind of corrections, right, light bulb moments, I thought, see, usually when you say, oh, I had a light bulb moment, it'll change everything forever. No, light bulb is still happening.
The bulb is like there forever.
So this is mainly to pretty much all the engineers or anybody in this industry, right? We have that thing of, we can handle this.
Yeah.
If you're in a big company, I can do the show, no problem. But that's how.
Dude,
years and years of failure, so many bad shows, and maybe 1 or 2 good shows. In at least in the first 2 years, I probably did. Like I said, yesterday, about if I've done 100 shows, 95 of them were like
these kinds.
disasters only.
Damn.
5%, 5 of them maybe good because of the acoustic being very good. For example, Leela Palace, that's a very good venue for conference. It's got very good treated room.
Okay.
So everything sounds clear. So you don't have to do much. So there, I felt go.
Yeah. But that's where you don't need an engineer.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need an extremely good engineer. Anybody can it'll sound nice. So my thinking is like, I've done this. This is because of me. No, it's the combination of everything.
It's because of Leela.
A lot of things. Not only, everything. So, that took a long time for me to remember, realize that, okay, you can never be perfect in this. It's always it's not a controlled environment, no? Unlike studios.
Yeah.
It's not a controlled environment at all. So, every day you're thrown different things, So, I realized, okay, don't be overconfident.
How many? It must have taken quite a few years for that, right?
For me to realize this thing of my own thing, right? Easily 2-3 years. And this, I was at that point of time, that company used to do shows, 3-4 shows in a week.
Wow.
And the first 2-3 weeks were preparing for the show, like show files and PA measurements and all that.
Crazy.
So, long time. Even after that also, I started doing good shows, correct? But then there was some really difficult situation with acoustics and all that. Then again, this kind of moments happen. Sanjay would come and, Sanjay, my boss, he would come and, help me out a little bit. But then, by then I had become a little more mature about it. Like, I wouldn't do stupid things.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, I think with any job or anything that you take up, and especially I feel if you're a very passionate person when it comes to, these verticals, right? You either assume you know it.
Yep.
Or you get into it and then you're so passionate, you're like, I can't give up and show that I suck at it. Right? I have to somehow make this happen.
Yeah.
And I think that whole, there's that point in your journey where when you hit these marks or these points, that is truly what I think defines you, because those moments will tell you whether you decide to learn from it and get back into it and keep at it, or a couple of these and then you're like,
that's it.
It's it. I'm done.
You're done.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think when you have decided why you're in it and why you're doing this, I think it all really ties well together.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, for me, when I got into this whole field, right, I was 100%, 200% sure that I was not going to do anything else. This is it.
Bro, you got in initially to hotel management. And
that's because to get into
Christ.
Yeah.
We need to talk about that. Is that you went to Christ University because of bands like Galeej Gurus, because of
Thermal
bands like Thermal and Quarter, all these, literally outputs from Christ.
Yeah.
And you decided, you know what, I need to be in that scene. So you signed up for the hotel management course.
So thing is, actually, so I did PCMB, 12th Karnataka State Board, right?
Yeah.
And when I came to Christ College, I had a clear, thing in my head saying that I'm going to be part of bands. Whatever it is, I want to be like Thermal and Quarter, right? Bruce Lee money. So we had heard all these, stories about Christ College, how the bands are there, and back then this was around that whole Bangalore's rock phase, metal and rock.
The fests back then are crazy, right?
Exactly,
insane.
Yeah, so
and those the Joseph versus Christ, those scenes and insane stuff.
Yeah, insane. So, but Christ College, I knew they are going to appreciate. They were even now they appreciate music and art a lot.
Yeah.
In the college, the fathers are very appreciative about the thing. So I came in. I wanted to do hotel management.
Yeah.
Okay, so but my first thing was to get into Christ College, no matter what, even if I don't get through hotel management. I came, and the guys at the reception said, the applications are.
They said the same thing to me when I went for my PU.
Oh.
Yeah. He said, no, not happening because I was off by 0.5%.
Oh, yours is a percentage.
Yeah.
Mine was closed. The applications were closed.
Yeah.
So they're like, we already have 600 application and it's a class of only some 60.
Yeah.
So, oh man, what do I do? Then I had to make a quick decision, right? So then I'm asking him, so I did this 12th, PCMB in 12th. What should I do? He's like, BSc, this PCMB, what is it? I don't remember the courses, but I ended up taking CBZ.
Okay.
Chemistry, botany, and zoology. I'm like, okay, this one will make me get into this college.
Yeah.
Like, this one.
Will I get a seat here?
Yeah, will I get a seat here? So I got the seat, and that's it. I got into Christ College, and I was always on the lookout. Okay, and when you enter Christ College now, I don't know what the situation is now, but back in the day. Not formal. So arts students and science students can wear whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Only the BBM. So it makes sense because hotel management guys, they are prepping for the industry.
Correct.
Or let's say BBM guys, they're also wearing all the suits and all that, prepping for the industry.
Yeah.
You don't need, a scientist would not wear a suit all the time, right? Or let's say even an art guy, right? Or journalism. Not. So
it made sense to a certain degree.
So when I entered the campus only, I saw guitarists and people with beard. I'm like, that's it, I'm here.
Made it.
I'm in dreamland. That's it. Okay, and I every time I see a guy who's carrying a guitar or a girl who's carrying, I would go and talk to them. Hey, is that your guitar? Are you part of a band and stuff? So I would make conversations like this. And there is this food court in Christ College, right? That basketball court.
Yeah.
And that's where all the cool guys hang out.
Oh, yeah.
Guys and girls, right?
You go and get noodles there.
Yeah, noodles, Maggie, and pav bhaji. Chicken roll, egg puff. That was breakfast. So I go there, started hanging out, and then I got to know people. And then there was first auditions. This was, I think, in the first 2 weeks only. They started auditioning for this festival called Darpan. That is their intra-college festival where they compete.
Okay.
Make bands and
they identify these talents to which represent college later.
Yeah. So that is the first competition. I went and auditioned. I was instantly selected in 2-3 bands, right?
Okay, as a
singer. I used to sing back then.
Whoa, heavy stuff.
Yeah, oh God, I'm telling you. So I used to sing back then. So I got in as a vocalist. But I always wanted to be part of like a proper band. And I had seen all these music videos, right, where the singer's going, I want to do all those things. Freddie Mercury, but then I was part of the bands and started performing. We won. We became college A band, that kind of stuff. All that happened. Then I slowly started seeing these people who are working in the background. In my school, when I started, let's say, singing in my school, right, that I was the sound engineer because there was this Ahuja sound processor. Yeah. It has bass, it has treble, it has mids. And I would set it up the way I want. I really liked some settings and I used to just do the show. And it was right next to me and I used to play harmonium also. So I used to,
Damn. So you were always musically inclined?
No, actually, I was inclined towards sport, hockey, right? I used to play hockey a lot.
Okay.
But I always liked music. The way it made me feel, believe it or not, since I'm not a city kid, right? I don't know all these fancy bands, bro. Like,
how did you come across these Christ bands then?
Wait. So this is all like, how do you say? I don't know Dave Matthews Band, for example. Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because I had no clue.
Yeah.
But I think when I was in 3rd standard, India's 50th Independence Day.
Okay.
1997, no? Around that. I remember that because I heard A.R. Rahman's Vande Mataram played on the school.
That rendition, yeah.
Not the rendition, the heavy hitting one.
Okay.
With the flag. Yeah. I heard that. I heard that song played on the school PA system. And it made me feel like, wow, this is something. Like, there's that electric guitar and the drums, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But this is all happening in my mind. I'm not going out and saying.
Yeah.
And I kept singing to myself. And obviously we don't know Hindi, right? speaking Hindi in Coorg is it's a funny thing.
Yeah.
We don't, right? So we had not even met a person who spoke Hindi back then, right? So anyway, we would just murmur with it like, you know. I get what you're saying. So that kind of stuff. So I found myself, liking the sound of it.
Yeah.
Then when I went home, it was on TV also. I think it was launched that year.
All over.
It was all over. So I really liked it. So then I started hearing songs here and there. I was not listening to music actively, but on TV, whenever the song's happening, I would listen to it. Or let's say background music, if something is there, I would always listen to it. My attention would go there, So yeah, after all that, I got into this boarding school, Sai Shankar Residential School. Sai Shankar Residential PU School. No, yeah, Sai Shankar Residential. Whatever. Yeah, so I got in there and it was a hardcore vegetarian boarding school, spiritualism.
Yeah.
It was a multi-religious school. So they would celebrate Christmas, they would celebrate Diwali, everything.
Right,
So Sai Baba.
Yeah.
It was a Sai Baba owned school. And I saw these instruments in the music room. I was like, wow, these instruments I've only seen on TV. And you're not allowed to touch it because if you don't know to play, you'll go in it, right?
Yeah.
But then I saw somebody play the instrument and I wanted to. I'm very young, right? So younger people absorb more quickly, right? And I self-taught it. I would sneakily go into the room and then I would just experiment.
Play the harmonium.
Yeah. I think within a year or so, I was able to play the harmonium.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just intuitively. I mean, just trying over.
Yeah. And I also used to watch that guy play. There was one guy who used to play.
Wow.
And I was good at imitating people. So I was basically imitating him, and I was also imitating one guy singing. So I started singing also, and I discovered my own voice.
Wow!
Right. So yeah, that is part of how I got into music actively. And after 2 years or so, in PU and all, I was fully into music. And then and around that time, I had met these Bangalore kids who were in that boarding school. They back in the day, it was low waist era.
Yeah, dude, I know. There's a belt, but low waist.
Low waist. So
another cap.
Yeah. So I had one guy from Bangalore. He introduced me to hip hop stuff, right? Eminem and all that.
Yeah.
I was in love with it. Oh my God, what is this? This is my life.
Screw these instruments. Yeah.
Right. And there was one more friend of mine. He was a Bishop Cotton pass out. So he was into all these, bands and stuff. He knew.
Yeah. The local scene.
Yeah. So the guy who's playing the guitar is the guitarist.
Yeah.
So these terms were new to me. I didn't know. Right? This is pre-internet, right? So I'm like, wow, yeah. Then he made me listen to some music, and I listened to some other stuff, Evanescence, and interestingly, around the same time, my dad, his manager, who he went abroad for some reason, so he had left all his Pink Floyd and all this Pulse concert and all. He's like, just take it, it's okay. And he had given the DVD player also. So I just started watching the movies and listening to these.
Dude, those are crazy.
Yeah, so the Pulse concert, Pink Floyd 1994 Pulse concert, that was the first introduction to me of a concert in a TV. I'm like, wow, what is happening here? There are drummers. He's got and I didn't know he's called a drummer, right?
Yeah.
Because in Coorg there is no music community and all that. It's only hockey and sport.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Let's pull out the knife or the sword.
Yeah. So people with interest in music, very, very rare. Okay?
So true. Yeah.
But I started discovering all of it on TV, like David Gilmour playing the guitar. I was like, man, what is this? And I wanted to buy a guitar because I saw this guy. And I knew electric guitar. So now I got to know the difference between an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar. Right. And I was like, wow, this is great. But then I didn't know where to buy it. So I would, those Nataraj compass box, right?
Yeah.
The geometry box. I would put rubber band. I would make a guitar out of it. I would
We've
play.
all done that. Damn.
Right. So this was my introduction to, music in the larger sense. So that's when I decided that's it. I had found out there's
and your friends at school told you about all these bands.
Yeah, and they made me listen to all these
the local.
Yeah. And also there were some other instances where I came across this metal music I had actually listened to in 6th standard.
Okay.
I really liked it. It was all noise. All that.
Heavy
but,
metal.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was called metal and all. And I really like the graphics on the CD. Some weird, blood and all. So, I had gotten into all these things unconsciously. Like, not subconsciously. So, then basically my decision came out of all these experiences. That's it. I'm going to do music. Something related to music. Yeah. Long story cut short. Now I see the guy sitting in the console at all these shows. I'm like wondering, what is this guy doing? Why is everybody talking to him and all that?
Yeah.
Everybody's going and asking Sanjay. This is the best part, right? So this guy who comes there to do the shows, all the bands sound crazy. Even the really horrible bands, they sound amazing.
I've been there so many fests, right? They have such a great auditorium.
Yeah.
And it truly feels like you're in a proper concert. It feels amazing.
Yeah, because those speakers are large scale concert speakers.
Yeah.
Massive
Insane.
ones, right? Line array speakers. Anyway.
I mean, when the drummer comes on and sits and he does the double bass test and all that, you're like, you can feel it.
You can feel it, right? So,
shit.
And this it is the best auditorium, hands down. Yeah. There's no argument also. Because they were the first to even install a line array speaker back in 2006. No other auditorium, even in Bombay, Delhi, no chance. There's no place like that. Anyway, so this guy who's doing this, he's got this massive console. He looks so cool, he's calm. Everybody's talking to him. He's like, wow, who's this guy, man? Seriously. Then I started moving from stage to check out what this guy is doing. Yeah. I would always be next to him and watch this man. Then I would talk to him after the show. So what is this? This is called this is a sound console. Oh, okay. Then I started researching internet. What is this? YouTube. And I had nothing back then. So this is 2007-8.
Yeah,
mostly Google. And you take 5 minutes for the page to load.
Yeah, dial up.
Yeah. So this guy sort of inspired me. What this guy actually does, and now I'm on stage. I'm a pro on stage. Like by third year and all, I'm a pro on stage. I go, but here's the thing: I used to do almost like a ritual. Okay, it's like almost like a show-off thing. I go on stage and I picked up from other artists like Khalid Grooves and all these guys. I've seen what the vocalist does. So I would go on stage. The immediate thing that I would do, I'll go and stick the mic like this and then, Sanjay, can I have some reverb on my voice? Okay, so this one time, I hear this. So I did that this one time on stage and I hear this really low frequency voice coming onto my speakers on stage. It's like, hey, shut up and play, man. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, fine.
Oh my
so God. I go to, I go to Chennai after all this. I do the course, sound engineering course and all that. And I come back to Bangalore. Somebody had given me a contact at this company called Acoustic Control. So I was called for the interview. I spoke to the manager first. He was like, wait for the boss to come. He's going to come in a while. So he comes to the office and I'm like, wait, I've seen this guy somewhere. Wait. Oh, this is the guy.
Same
guy, right? So, Sanjay, okay, acoustic control. I've seen that truck come by near the auditorium. I'm like, it's the same company. Then I did the interview. He said, ball is in your court, man. It's a very tough industry to get in. Let's see. We'll give you a 3-month trial period where you can prove yourself. I'm like, I am definitely.
Yeah, I already know it. Anyway.
Yeah, I already know it. This part I had all these my highest marks scored in audio engineering, MIDI and all that live sound engineering. And I gave it to him. He didn't even look at it. He just puts it in the side. And I had carried an iPad where I had done sound design for a movie clip. He didn't even let me open it. He's like, it's all this is fine. This is it's okay. I didn't understand back then. I thought he was rude, but he was not. He was being very practical. Anyway, I started working for the company. But here's the thing, right? I had come full circle. So I had seen this guy for the first time. So he was the first sound engineer I had seen him in my entire life, right? Yeah. And now I'm working for him. Without knowing, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I ended up working for almost 7 years, and even now I have a good relationship with the company.
It's like you said, he's a veteran at the end of the day, right?
He's a veteran of 30 plus years. So
wow, dude.
Yeah,
dude, but that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, so we had this guest on the show who she's a footballer,
right?
And she used to play for Spurs in big.
Right.
Yeah, for Tottenham Spurs.
Wow.
And then she I think she got picked up from, she moved there for
Indian?
a bit. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know
From
this.
Delhi, she moved there. She played for a bit. She came back. Now she's the captain of the Karnataka team.
Oh.
Tanvi. So she said, she also had a very interesting story this way, which is she was so fascinated by Bend It Like Beckham.
Right.
The
Right. Oh,
movie,
yeah,
right?
the movie. Yeah.
Blown away.
Right.
Eventually, the director reached out to her because she was there.
Right.
And she was an Indian there. She was also a Punjabi there.
Right.
And she reached out and said, hey, we'd like to feature you for this play that we're doing called Bend It Like Beckham itself in London. And she was just like, what are you talking about?
That's crazy.
So that's again a full circle, right?
It is, yeah.
So it's something. So she even till today she swears by this movie as that movie she goes back to time and again.
Right.
We all have that couple of movies,
Right.
This is her movie, and to think that the director Chadda, she reached out to her and got her to feature for that play.
Wow.
It's just incredible.
That's
so
amazing.
Yeah, so it's very similar thing here too, right?
So I thought the circle would end there, but no. I started doing shows at Christ College, me at the console, and now I'm the guy who other kids are looking up.
Dude, that's crazy, dude.
Now I totally relate to these kids, right? This one kid with a little beard and hair and all. He's like, hey, so very nice. What do you do here? So, but now since I relate to him, I am fully open to him. I'm like, man, this is what it does. I'm showing him. We are chilling after half an hour.
Yeah.
Hey, man, what do you listen to? I used to listen to Porcupine Tree. Now I'm listening to Indian classical music and all that. Right? So that whole thing, the full circle. And, in Christ College. So I have had some great experiences doing shows there. I probably have done some 80 shows there.
Wow.
Because they used to have shows all the time. Man, all the time, right?
But you were there. Literally, you were the one handling the...
Yeah, I would do pretty much around that time, like 5-6 years, right? Shows, when I say shows in our industry, it could also be a conference show, right?
Basically an event.
Yeah, an event, right?
Yeah.
IBM had, the IBM CEO had come and she came up to us at the production room. She said, thank you and all. I'm like, wow, this is great. Oh, Jeff Bezos, when it come to India, I was the guy at the console.
Wow.
And for some reason, my technician, the guy who was trying to wear the headset mic, it was not happening.
Yeah.
So I was called to backstage and I ran. This show is about to start. Like, he's going to come on stage in 10 minutes. And I go there, backstage, and Jeff Bezos is looking at me. I'm like, hey, this is the guy, Jeff Bezos, right?
He's standing there.
And these event guys are like, fix this mic and all. I'm like, I saw his ear lobe, okay? It's like really tiny. There's no space here.
Yeah.
Okay. And he himself said that to me. He's like, hey man, this doesn't work because usually it falls off because I don't have enough real estate here.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's actually true. But it's okay. We'll try and do something. So I had done...
Literally,
I've tried to do something and at that time it was fine. And this was almost like last minute. There it was fine. And then he comes on stage, the mic goes...
Falls. Oh, man.
like that. And obviously I'm not getting enough signal. Usually that comes. Anyway, but the Christ College thing, I ended up doing all these shows, right? Most interesting shows were these theater shows that I used to do. 5 days of rehearsals, 1 day of tech rehearsal, dress rehearsal. No, tech rehearsal, dress rehearsal, and the actual show. Oh man, that was... you'd have about 60 channels.
Wow.
Every actor would have the face mic. Basically those little mics
60 channels.
60 channels, it'll include the music channels also.
Yeah, but that's great. That's tougher
in
to mix
theater,
then, right?
Theater 60 channels is less actually. It'll go up to whatever, 90, 100, whatever. But I was handling all these shows, right? And I learned it's completely different than what you do in music. The music mixing is very easy at the end of the day. If you have a rock band on stage, it's actually easy compared to this. Because here, every kid's or every actor's voices are different.
Yeah.
Everything is different, right?
Yeah.
And you'll have to always keep in mind, if you do too much, you will start feeding back. And you hear one feedback or like one of the... that howl, right?
Yeah.
Your show is ruined because you are taking the attention away.
Correct.
The audience will feel, something's wrong.
Correct.
So these shows are like, if there is scene 1, if the show has 5 acts and 10 scenes in each act, that will be a lot of things you can't do manually. So you'll have to save it in the console.
Like a preset.
Yeah. And you have to be on the ball with the lighting guy, right? Then the show caller will be there. Scene 2, act 2, scene 1.
Yeah. Then you change.
What I do is I go there and then change. Okay. So it's incredible. So in India it's very less. This whole theater production scene is very, very less. No,
I can imagine outside, dude.
Yeah, very few people do it here. And in Bangalore, this company, Acoustic Control, they are the experts when it comes to this. So I happen to be handling all these shows, and I started enjoying these shows because it's like a film but live.
Yeah.
There is dialogue, there is background score,
Everything.
there is sound design, and there is narration.
It's proper production.
It's a proper production, and you're not sweating. It's like good nervousness. You're always on the ball, like tuck 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 tuck, and you're at the console. You're all so. I used to use this particular console, and I became so good at using this console. I won't even look at it. I'd be like,
wow.
So that when I started freelancing, the bands or musicians, they started saying, "Man, you're very fast. How do you do this?" I'm like, wait, this is how I always used to work. So that kind of so I realized others can't do it. Like some of the other engineers, I noticed that they take a long time to do, like, go to a page. But I am like...
Yeah.
Right? It comes naturally. Yeah. It came... Second nature. Second nature. And now I realize, okay, this is my strength here. So let me put it on steroids, right? So I became even more faster. So I became, I became slightly popular for this fast-paced work. So sound checks and all can be done in like... you give me all the channels, for 5 minutes. If you cooperate with me, 5-10 minutes, I'll be done with the sound check. So the corporate guys really liked it because they don't want to give musicians a lot of time to spend on stage or let's say even sound check. They keep sometimes bands, they go on for 3-4 hours for no reason. So they like me. Hey, you finish the sound check.
Efficient guy.
The moment you see me, you're okay. Anish, today we have time constraints. Okay, you tell me when it was not when there were no time constraints. Right? So I would tell them, okay, give me 15 minutes. Somehow I'll make it happen. But now there are a lot of engineers who do that, like fast, working fast.
Yeah.
But at that time when I started, at least as a freelancer, it was still a new thing.
Dude, this whole full circle thing, when I think about it, is still, like you said, it's still going on.
Yeah, it's going on and coming back again.
Because you're working with some of these bands that you were looking up to.
Yeah.
And that's also crazy, right?
I'll tell you one more circle that has not yet happened, but it may happen.
Wow.
Yeah, inshallah. But Raghu Dixit, I used to really like his...
Wow, yeah.
When he came, that Kannada song. This is the first time, for me, personally, Kannada songs were cool. The acoustic guitar and he's singing Gudu Gudiya. I am like, wow, what a voice. And I saw him in Pondicherry when I had gone for the Jipma. They have this Jipma College Festival. No?
Okay.
And he played at 3 a.m. And I wanted to watch him and I stayed up. And there were only some 20 people who were watching that show. 3 a.m. So Raghu Dixit is playing. And I'm like, wow, dude, what a performer. And he's just belting out his voice, dude, right?
Crazy.
I'm like, dude, it's Freddie Mercury's vibe,
Yeah.
What is this and all? Okay, but Indian style. So now I know his brother really well, Vasu, right? Because of Swaratma, Vasu Dixit, he's Swaratma's frontman.
Yeah.
So we are very close. But now, Raghu Dixit knows about me. He also follows the channel and all that. As in, he's aware of the channel. But I recently called him up, asked him, would you be interested to do something like this for my channel? He absolutely said, yeah, sure, man, we'll do it. I'm like, wow, another circle. It's like the Audi symbol. Circle.
But that's crazy, dude.
Yeah. So I'm trying to have him in the next season.
Wow, dude. No, but dude, there's no denying that if you put your mind to something, and I think we spoke about this and you weren't able to frame it yesterday perfectly well, and I don't think we'll anyway be able to frame it that well. But if you put in the work and creativity flows from like a very different space altogether, then literally stars align.
Yep.
And sometimes there's no way to really explain that.
Yes.
Right? And I think it's happened to me. It's definitely happened to you, like you were saying. It happens to all of us where we are just expecting something and we have done whatever we can do from our side, and then suddenly you realize it's happening.
It is.
And then you either have those goosebumps and then you're like, holy shit, it's actually happening right now. And then when you're living it, you're like, this is too surreal.
It is.
It's just not possible.
So when I posted the first video on the channel, this was on August 1st. 4 a.m. in the morning, August 1st, right?
Which year?
2018.
Okay.
It's the first ever episode. I had done it's the first time I'm actually going and seeing the YouTube's
Analytics and all that.
Not analytics, there is title
Oh,
and there's something called description.
All the
you have
components of a video.
Yeah, components. Oh, there's something called a thumbnail. Okay, you choose whatever, singers, angle of the singer and all that. I'm writing all these things, fine. Till then, I'm really stressed because I've done the mix. I've got the video editing done, and it's all synced and all that. Now, I've uploaded also the video. It's uploaded, but it's not public yet. It's not released to the world. So just before that thing, right? I got this feeling, right? I can't explain. It's above and beyond. Basically, it just pushed me. It almost felt like somebody is actually accepting it. Okay, this is the time. Do it now. And I pretty much had goosebumps, sort of like a tear in my teary. This is 4 a.m.
It could also be the sleep thing.
It could be. Yeah, that's also there. But me thinking in my thing, realm, spiritually and all.
Yeah.
So I press
publish.
Then see, this was a new channel. I had just made the channel, right? And I had no subscribe. I myself had not subscribed to it from my other email IDs. I have 2-3 email IDs, right? So I had myself
That's the first
not.
thing we'll all do normally. Yeah.
But I didn't do it. I didn't know. So I just published it. Went back to sleep. I went to sleep by 4 a.m. I sleep and I wake up at 1 or something.
In the afternoon.
I switched the phone on. Phone has got some 60-70 messages on WhatsApp. I've never gotten so many messages. Why would I get so many messages, right? And I'm like, wait, what happened? Then I opened the WhatsApp, right? Everybody is like seen it. Before this, I had actually made a list of people in my contact list who I thought would like it, may like it.
Okay.
The stuff that is there. So I did a broadcast list and then I sent it to these people.
Yeah.
And these people are only some 30-40 people who I chose in that list. They shared and I had about 2,000 views. It's impossible, right?
What are you saying?
Within 4 in the morning I had done this, and I think it took off. If you see the analytics, it took off at around 10 o'clock, around that time. Everybody is up.
And then blew up kinds. Yeah.
2,000 views the first day itself, right? And I'm like, what is happening here? Wait, is it 2,000 or is it what is it like? I'm not able to figure it out. Okay, fine. Then within a week it reached 6,000, 7,000, whatever. And from there on it just took off. But then right before publishing, right, I had this thing in my body that oozed positivity. Said it almost felt like somebody's pushing you. Somebody is leading the way. So I had that moment for like a couple of seconds and I just pressed it and after publishing I just shut the laptop screen and I just slept. That's it.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, so this is one of those things that you were mentioning, right?
Dude,
I can't explain, but
it's so true, dude. And I think the reason why you remember this is because obviously that feeling would have been something big for sure.
Yeah.
But you saw the effect of it, right? You actually saw like there's traction on a video which you didn't even market.
Yeah. Forget marketing. I didn't even know these videos could be marketed back then. Right? To be honest.
Yeah.
Because I was not in all this social media content creating, hide that word. I was not in that thing. I just wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to keep it niche, underground and all that. But anything but underground. So it's just,
I think that video is blown up, right?
Yeah, that video is blown up. Because it's that whole Shiva, Mahadeva thing.
Yeah.
And
her voice is incredible on that. Yeah.
She was called for that Sadhguru's Isha Foundation. They do that Shivratri, last year, 2020, Mahashivratri. She had sung that song. So basically, she was called because of the song. And when she sung the song, she performed the song and she did a slower version of the song. Sadhguru cried after that. So that became a huge deal, right? So which Sadhguru crying video? People would search, And again, it went up again, the whole viral thing. I think in last March 2020, again, analytics. I think I had about 3 million views in 1 month for that particular video.
Wow.
Yeah, it just jumped crazily. And then usually you know what it is, right?
Yeah.
YouTube, it'll give you a huge jump when it's viral and then it'll come down.
Yeah. Dude, and dude, I honestly, I think the folks who are listening should just go and listen to your content, if not even just watch it too. But I think there's a very different thing that you're doing with that. There's no denying that. And like I said, right, I take pride in what I'm doing because a lot of people may not understand. A lot of people are like for instance, you sat down and you were telling me all the how you liked some of those initial episodes we pushed out there, right? Which is shot in my dining room, which you didn't know till the time I told you now, right? And you're saying that it looks and sounds great.
Yeah.
And at that point, we were publishing super long form content.
Right.
Remember those?
Right.
Like an
one
hour,
hour, one and a half hour.
1 hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I looked at the analytics and people who let's say got hooked into it,
they would watch the whole thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I think you were traveling as well. And you were one of them as well. You just sat and you just listened or watched the entire thing, which, like I said, I think I'm saying we because we're coming from a very different space when it comes to this, because I have a very clear-cut idea of what I want to put out there.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand that.
They don't.
Right? And here in your case too, you had to go through about maybe 10, 15 episodes or, like videos or whatever you put out there. Then you realize, okay, this can be season 1.
Yeah.
And then
I think it was 9, 10 videos.
9, 10,
12 videos, I think so.
Okay.
Not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, but you went at it, and as you went through it, maybe obviously we are taking feedback. Obviously you're looking at things you can improve, looking at ways you can up your game. But there's a very clear vision, I feel.
Yes.
Right?
There is a tone to it.
Correct.
So basically these videos, right, they are meant to be watched, not only heard. Like, let's say if I put it on Spotify and iTunes, I can do it easily.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was going to ask you that yesterday because you are putting in a lot of time into the audio bit, right?
Yeah. So I'm not putting it on Spotify or all these digital platforms. They're behind me. All these music distribution companies. Right? Yeah. They want my songs. And I said no, it's okay. I have a clear thing with it because these are live recorded stuff. I don't do pitch correction. I don't do overdubs. So I tell the musicians, you come there, you feel the music, you perform the way you perform in front of stage.
A live performance.
Perform in front of the audience. Yeah. A live performance. 2 takes maximum. Whichever is the best take, we'll use it. After a point, usually after 3-4 takes in that kind of scenario, imagine like 4 cameras I use usually. And a lot of people inside, like cameramen.
Yeah.
You kind of get overwhelmed, right? And your voice it starts straining.
Yeah.
So I tell them, just first 2 takes, you focus and give me the 100%. Let's say if I invite you to Chowdaya Hall tomorrow as a musician, you don't get 3 takes or 2 takes. It's just one time you go appear in front.
You make or break it.
Make or break it. Yeah. That's how I want you to think, And they get it. They like it, Musicians who really perform, they love it.
I think people who are really confident about, their skill, right, will thrive there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They literally this is exactly what I was looking for. They may not say it.
Yeah, they may not
make it feel that way, but when it starts, right?
That's it.
It's like so natural.
So, the reason why I don't want to put in, I can still do it. It's not a big deal. But the thing is, I want the people to watch it also. I want them to see how the singer is moving her neck or his neck when he is hitting that note. What happens is when you do a music video, they record the audio first in the studio and then they come and lip sync it. That's a music video way of doing it. It's got its purpose. It's got its purpose. But for me, I see, because I am involved in live sound for so long, right? I know what a live performance does to you, to your senses. And when you have musicians perform, when you watch them perform live, right? There could be a little crack in the voice, and that will be the best part. And that crack you can never recreate in a studio.
Yeah.
You can't go to tell the singer, hey, okay, take 25. I want that crack now. Only do that. No, it's not possible, right? So,
it might be imperfections in like a conventional setup.
Yeah.
But actually it's not. It actually adds vibe.
It adds vibe. And is the singer going slightly flat or sharp, it can give... Kurt Cobain, was he a great singer? He was not.
Yeah.
But do you like listening to him? I love it. Yeah. Right? Because of the emotion he has, right? Even Freddie Mercury also, same thing, right? They have something in their voice, and that's what I want to. So this is the reason why I want the people to watch the video while listening to the audio. So even though I am a sound engineer, I want the audio to be the main center. So, but when you watch this whole, even the recent episode with Pallavi and Bindu Malini, they call themselves Threshold. They talk and they sing. It's like a theater performance, musical,
Got it.
right? So now all of a sudden people are like wondering, oh, this is live. People wouldn't believe me. They're like, hey, this is not live. Come on, this is re-recorded. Come on. I'm like, no, it's live. So now I'm trying to emphasize that fact, dude. No, this is actually
This is what
live.
you should be saying when you are addressing the camera.
Yeah. I have to say that now. The next episode, I'm going to do that. So now all of a sudden, people are hooked onto it more because they feel more connected. It's subconscious. See, you can't go and ask a person what's the difference between your video and other videos. A normal layman won't be able to tell the difference. But if I tell them, okay, this is a live performance, then they start noticing, oh, okay, that imperfection.
Definitely.
Imperfection, the energy in the room.
You look at it differently then. Yeah.
Start looking very differently, and all of a sudden you are like, oh wow, yeah, I like this, So I keep telling the musicians, that's it. You perform how you really thought of performing when you got started in this field, like singing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason why I don't put just the audio in the thing. Because audio, if you put just the audio, let's say in iTunes or Spotify, you will start hearing all this talking. Hey, take one, or them moving around and they're picking up the instrument. Oh, so the recent episode, Aishwarya Rangarajan, she was the singer. She's singing. Okay, she's wearing nice bangles, pink bangles. She's wearing, and she's while singing, she's doing this.
Yeah, that's also being.
It's recorded.
Yeah.
Now this is blasphemy in the world of audio engineering to have that kind of thing happening. Now you put it on Spotify, you will start hearing that and they'll be like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
But you start watching the video, she is moving naturally. It's like she's singing in front of you in this room, and she's got bangles and she is doing
natural,
this.
Right?
It's natural. So why would you want to cut it out? Or let's say, why would you want to replace the vocal because of that? So these are the things, that is making what do you say? I'm keeping that intimacy factor very intact.
Yeah. Dude, this is like I don't know if I mentioned it a while ago, but raw in its purest form.
Raw and minimalistic is what it is.
But dude, that and I mentioned this too. I'm not sure if on this show itself. I was also on another podcast, and this guy we were talking about how with our show, right, it's so conversational. Yeah. And we're trying to keep it very simple. Yeah. Like it's just two of us. Even if we met up anywhere else, we'll be talking like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And last night too, we spoke exactly like this. Yeah. Right? And that's what I'm trying to do. That relatability kick.
Yeah.
Right? And like people are just looking at connection. People are just looking at, dude, he's a Bangalorean just like I am. He's so cool just like I am, you know? So that relatability is what I'm really going for. So I told this to the guy who was interviewing me too. I was like, see, it's coming out in a certain way because of just putting in so much thought and effort and work into this to make it seem like as conversational as possible. Right? Because no one gets how much thought's going behind all of this. Like you too, you want it to be raw and you want it to be in its truest sense possible. But there is so much you're thought about to ensure it comes out like that. Because if you just say, hey, you come sit, sing, man, we sing and we'll do it. No, it doesn't work that way.
I'll tell you one more thing about cameramen with the same thing, right? The first time I did the first episode, we shot the recording and I noticed these camera guys are not doing much. I'm like, man, I want you to move with the tempo of the song. And these guys are, the usual DSLR camera guys, some with some fancy names. Okay, so I told them, okay, so she's singing that way, you move with the same tempo. Some people don't get it. These camera guys don't get it. So I told them, do this, Then he's like, it's okay, amele B-roll marbidana. I said, bro, idu music video, this is actually a performance. She can't, or let's say that guy can't play the same notes again. Because they're not even using clicks. Particular performance, they were not using a click or no matter. It was a raw recording. Like they didn't have any monitoring. So they're like, we'll B-roll it. No, it's okay. Sir, adenagala navella inge madodu. So he wanted the guitarist to do
again. Yeah.
I'm like, bro, this is exactly the thing I don't want to do. They didn't get it, but later on they got it. But the team that I have now, they've sort of like understood why I'm doing that. Now they understood why I don't have B-rolls. B-rolls is what you get there. That's it. Whatever you shoot there, it's there. And in some of the shots, right, there is a camera guy coming close to the face, and I've left it there because I didn't get any other good shots. And also,
I've seen that.
Yeah, the red flash is coming. That's why I've kept it there because see, okay, again, you're playing a show on stage. The camera guy is there. Do you have a problem with that cameraman now? No, right? the same thing here. I'm trying to also make believe people, dude, it's actually shot live. It's not, you know.
No, like that Freddie Mercury's, Queen's performance at Live Aid, right? These guys, there are camera guys everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That was like the performance of a lifetime, right?
Yeah, it's the best concert, hands down.
Yeah.
The backstage guys are also rocking, dude.
Everyone's losing their shit. There's bloody Pepsi and beer and whatnot on
piano.
the...
on piano, there's beer glasses, there's Pepsi, and this guy is, you can see saliva pop into the mic. And that's the best part, right? In the music video, they will not keep it. In a music video, they want everything perfect, right? You will not want his saliva going into the mic. But here, that's the best part. You will know he's belting it out there, you know?
And his rendition, his version that day is very different.
That's the best. Oh God.
Yeah, dude.
I listen to that more than the actual recording, the studio recording. You know,
So true, dude.
Yeah. So this is why I tell them, even to tell the musicians, when I talk to the musicians also, I tell them, don't worry about anything. It's okay if your makeup, your lipstick is gone that way, or if your makeup is gone. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. People actually subconsciously, they don't care about all those things. If you're singing really well, that's it.
That's
They'll
all
hooked
that
on.
matters,
Yeah. They will appreciate the things that you're doing. You're not there for beauty contest, right? Or anything else.
Yeah.
So tell them if something falls and recently again, one of the episodes we were doing, this camera guy kind of slipped. Okay, it made one sound top. Normally people would stop it, but I got that performance was perfect. Okay, and it was one take performance, 28 minute I was telling you about.
Wow.
That 28 minute threshold with Pallavi and Bindu.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a perfect performance, right?
Yeah.
And us being there only, we were like, wow, man, you could feel it. And this sound happened because he slipped, because he was trying to do his gimbal shot. No, he slipped. Then he kept looking at me in that guilty, sorry. I said, no, it's okay. Shh, don't worry. Continue, it's fine. And Pallavi and Bindu are professionals, okay? So they didn't stop.
Yeah.
Others would have stopped.
Yeah.
Who knows? They didn't stop. They just smiled at me and then they carried on.
Damn.
If you actually listen to it, like very closely, you can hear that thump somewhere. I think the 10th minute or something, you can hear it, but it's fine. Is it ruining the performance? Not at all. Not at all. So,
dude, so true, dude. And I think getting that clarity for yourself is the first and most important thing ever, right? And more often than not, all these outliers, the guys who have gone on to kill it or done some incredible stuff, so always had a very weird vision or a very different way of thinking. And then, and I remember, if you had to explain, let's say, a job which doesn't exist, didn't exist 10 years ago and it exists today, to maybe one of these conventional mindsets, it's very tough to explain it, right? How do you explain digital marketing to someone who was born in the 1920s? It's very tough.
Absolutely.
You can't. It's very difficult, right? But when you can do some work and showcase it and then explain by showing it, say, okay, this is what I did. This is the thing. This is how. Then you're like, okay, there's some proof of concept. There's something you've actually done. And I think all these guys who have gone on to kill it have done that. Who have just gone and done it. And then, like you said, your camera guy got it after, when maybe the video came on, like, okay,
this is the reason.
Now it makes sense. I get what you're saying.
A lot of instances like this, even this was a very conscious decision, okay, for me to not pitch correct. Live, I'm against it. Pitch correction is needed, yes. Okay, every song that you hear commercially, everywhere, is pitch corrected. Okay, that's the way to go about it. But for me, the purpose is slightly different. I want it to be like a show, like a real performance. The moment you start pitch correcting, I think you'll get into all the other problems that technically comes along. Plus also, I don't want to get into, and also it's that I want to break that psychological thing of musicians taking too much liberty with recording technology. They're like, we'll
do it again. We'll do that
syllable again later. I said no, because no, it's not possible. So, and also, as a sound engineer, other sound engineers may think, man, this guy doesn't even pitch correct, dude. What is this?
I was actually going to go to that.
Yeah. So I've had that conversation many times. You don't pitch correct and all, like time correct.
You are a sound engineer only. Have you studied?
Yeah. But I said, I'm brave enough to do this. I'm 100% sure nobody is okay with it, especially our people in the industry. They're like, it's a blasphemy. It's like, how can you put this? But does it... to me, that's the thing. Like, I have a certain thing in my head and I want to keep... See all these big studios, Peep Studios, all those guys, they... they pitch correct to it, proper pitch correction, and they do post processing proper. Like there is you can hear it also. See, it works for them, but for me, I want to bring this up. That's it. When I say it's a show, it is a show. That's it.
Dude, that's great, dude. And the main reason I wanted to get you here is because one, you're doing some incredible work. You're doing something that's very different. I think anyone who goes to your channel will realize that, and especially on one hand, you're working with bands that are super conventionally Western, if you want to call it that. In the sense, they have fusion and there are a lot of people as well, right? But there is obviously a lot of traits we're taking off the West, right? But when you come to your channel, you're finding a lot of these folk music, you're finding a lot of indigenous music, you're finding, which is very different too.
So usually when I approach the artist, I ask them, do you have any own compositions?
That's ideal.
Yeah, that's ideal because that's your own way of expressing. Okay, most of them don't. Most singers don't. Are not singer-songwriters. But then I tell them, okay, choose something that's really old, like a classical piece or folk, and also something which doesn't have copyright. YouTube, that copyright thing. No, and I don't want to do covers, to be honest. Cover songs of movies and all. I'm not much of a fan. So I try to tell them. Because I have a vision. If I hear a singer, let's say for Khalid Ahmed, Parvaz singer, he's got this Sufi way of singing. Okay, so when I spoke to him, I knew what he's going to sound like, and he's got his own song. So I'm like, yeah, great,
perfect.
Yeah. So I approached one more singer. She's a proper folk singer, and she belts it like nicely. So there's so many imperfections in her voice, but the imperfection is beauty in her voice, right? She just goes the proper folk way of singing, So I told her, don't change the way you sing, or don't select a song that that doesn't do justice for your voice. Then she felt comfortable, and then she chose the song that she wants to do, and then
came out exactly
the way I wanted. So see, that's the thing. See, I can do all these things. Okay, since it's live recorded, 70% of the time it works. 30% of the time it doesn't work.
Right.
So it's fine. It's like I've seen really great artists come and screw up on stage. Big artists. So many. It's not even. So it's the same thing. Like on the given day, like AB de Villiers can't score 100 every day, right? Isala Cup namde.
That's a good place to end it. And also maybe I don't know how the team's going to fare this year, but
hey, come on, bro. That's Isala Cup namde 100%.
If not, we have Dravid.
Seriously, Aste. Indranagar Gunda.
Oh man, dude, Anish, thank you so much for making time, dude. This is a good place to, I think, wind up. And obviously, I will link your work below in the show notes and the description.
I can do that too.
And dude, this is awesome. You're like, I think the only guest who's come from another city.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you had other things too, but I'm glad that you're here and we could make this happen.
Great.
Dude, super happy. I really like the conversation. Like I said, we spoke about a lot of things last night. I was maybe a little worried, maybe that we might not touch all of that. We touched more, and I'm like, super happy.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, man. This is the first time I'm actually talking in front of a camera like this. Video podcast. Wow. Where are we, man? 2021. Living it.
I know.
I did a Insta live and all that, and it was very uncomfortable for me because I've never done it before. And this I thought would have been uncomfortable, but no. You made it feel very
and also I think it's just sitting down with another person.
Exactly.
It's very different from sitting down remotely and
I don't think I'll do well in a TV interview. Because I can't be politically correct and all. No chance.
Oh my God.
So this is the best way to, do an interview. And I also, like, you're talking about the more important things, not only where were you born, who were your inspiration, not that. You're actually asking some really concrete questions. So that's a rare case.
It's just, I think, I've been inspired and we feel touched by a lot of these guys who are doing this. Maybe in India, it's a little lesser. In the West, we see a lot of these guys who are able to build that connection and also really extract, the right knowledge from these people. Right? That's a very important skill set.
Joe Rogan.
That
guy goes berserk sometimes.
He's
amazing.
He's raw. Truly raw, right? And I don't entirely like his production and all of that, right? That's
new
not my-
new room he's got is horrible.
It's just fucking, it'll just take off. It's a spaceship. Like, what is happening there, right? But he is super talented in sitting down and extracting pieces of knowledge from someone's head.
Right. Yeah.
That is what is, that's what people come there for.
Yeah.
They either come there to see that guy literally tear him apart,
Right.
but at the same time, he can get whatever he's looking for from that person and convey it to the audience.
Yeah.
Right? In this case, what I'm doing is trying to do that relatability bit and really just have a conversation with another person and like you said, pick on those important things because dude, today's day and age, people are just so wavered and lost.
Yeah.
And and like you said, right, you joined a college to get into the music scene and then you got into sound and because you saw another person. If Sanjay wasn't there, you'd be somewhere else.
Yeah. Probably I'd be sitting in a lab or something. I don't know. I have no clue.
Who knows?
See, music, to be honest, if you take up a career in music as a musician, it's very difficult because you have to, there's a lot that goes into it. But a sound engineer, he can hop from one show to another without a problem. You do a show in Kolkata, a completely Bollywood wedding show or whatever it is, and then the next day you're in Bangalore or let's say the next day you're in Dubai doing a completely different theatre production.
Yeah.
You don't need any preparation because obviously preparation is the years of experience you carry with.
Correct.
But for a musician, if he's got 3 shows coming up in the weekend and if he has to learn some songs, 3 different bands, I'm talking about session musicians.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. They have to be on their ball, always listening to it and practicing all that. But being part of band is much more easier. But then being part of band also comes with its own problems because you don't get shows as often as,
And especially now.
Now there's now it's a different scene. This is a black hole right now.
Hope we get past this soon enough. But dude, Anish, thank you so much.
Thank you
like
so
I tell
much.
all my guests, we'll have you here again once we hit
Absolutely.
a milestone.
That's
We'll sit down and talk about so many other stories.
Absolutely. Thanks. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Felt really good.
Awesome. So that was the episode for you guys. If you enjoyed it and you have an Apple device, then consider leaving us a rating and a review there. It really, really helps get the word out there. I see a lot of you just tuning into the episodes who haven't really subscribed or don't follow our channel or our show. So if that's the case, then consider following us on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you tune in for your podcast. And if you are listening to this over video, then consider leaving us a comment and also subscribing to the channel. Cool, then I guess that wraps up episode 38. We have a couple of big things coming your way. I can't wait for you to experience it. But until then, ciao.